Hello, I'm Professor Kevin W. Tharp, and I am going to be your instructor for the Search Engine Optimization course. What I want to do here is just do a real quick introduction to what we're going to be doing in the class and what I need you to do. So search is a thing that changes very fast. When you think about it, search engines have only existed since 1994-ish, depending upon how you want to define a search engine. We're going to learn about that. We're going to learn about the history of it. We're going to learn about the changes. We're going to learn about what people have done during the last 30 years while the web has evolved. But search is starting now to become a more stable platform. And that said, Google made 4,500 changes to search in 2020. So in this class, it doesn't do us any good to focus on what has happened in the past. We'll use what's happened in the past to help us understand where we are so that we can understand where we're going. I'm going to introduce you to a lot of tools. I'm going to introduce you to a lot of concepts. I'm going to introduce you to a lot of resources and ways that you can stay current after you've completed this course. That's my responsibility. But we also want to take that polytechnic approach and put our hands on to learning this, because that is the way that we do things here at Stout. And this is what I'm going to need from you. You are going to need to get a partner organization. This is your responsibility, and it is a requirement of the course. And so what I've done is I've set out some information on a website, and I'll have that included. Actually, you're probably watching the video on this page. But it's going to talk to you about the types of partner organizations that work best. Now, these are just guidelines. We always have to flex because we are dealing with the real world. But one of the things that you're going to learn is how to find and manage a client who you are going to be providing services for, in the form of you are going to do an online audit, of their online presence throughout the semester. So you will be spending a lot of time taking what we've learned in the classroom and applying that by doing an audit of different aspects of your partner organization's online presence. And so what you need to do is start right away finding that partner organization. So in this information page on the overview of the class, it talks about what you're going to need to do, what you're not going to need to do, and how to find a partner organization. Now, in the end, it's going to come down to finding somebody that you can work with. Sometimes that means that you're working with a local organization or church that you're familiar with. Sometimes it means that you got to reach out to a service provider, say a yoga studio or really anything like that. Bars, restaurants, churches, all kinds of organizations work, but you need to make sure that they have got a online presence that is active. It does you no good to try and audit a website that hasn't been updated in 10 years. It does you no good to try and do an audit of somebody who's really not using the web as a marketing tool. The ideal organization is an organization who is using it, but who could use some help in understanding how they could improve their game on their website, social media, video, all of those things, because we're going to cover all of those things in this class. And so that's what you need to start looking for. You're going to be provided with a set of tools, and those tools allow us to have flexibility with the kind of organization you're going to use. There are certain kinds of organizations that absolutely will not work. For instance, you will not be able to use a Stout website because it just doesn't work. So a website for a student organization or something like that just simply isn't going to work. A company like Walmart isn't going to work. A company like Applebee's isn't going to work. Somebody who is part of a national chain just isn't going to work, because normally the local store does not have access to, they're not the ones that are managing the web presence. So you're normally going to be do better with a organization that is smallish to medium sized, that is relatively local. It can work if they're not a local organization. Local meaning they have a presence that is restricted to a locality, rather than somebody like a Walmart that is global, because what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to get access to some of their data. You're going to need to help to understand, work with somebody in that organization who can help you to understand kind of their approach to the web. And you'll learn more about that as we go on. And so that's the kind of organization you need to look for. We've been doing this since 2012, and we have audited hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of websites. And most of the people who are on campus taking this have looked to organizations in the Menominee area. That means that most of the organizations that fit the criteria that are located in Menominee have probably already been approached or audited. And so that would kind of rule them out. So before you come back to campus, if you're still at home, see if there's some organization that you can work with. Often people will use the businesses of their parents or their brother or their uncle or their cousin, or somebody that they know that's running a medium-sized business, medium to small-sized business. And a lot of people use their own business. That makes some components a little bit awkward, but we can work through that. So the bottom line is you need to start looking, go through and read the details and the information. Start finding yourself a partner organization. We're going to need to have this done as quickly as possible before we can proceed. And we're going to be doing a lot of work to gain the knowledge that is necessary to function in a world where the key player may be making 4,500 changes in a year. And so that's what we're going to be doing. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot to learn. They absolutely cannot learn everything. So what we're going to do, part of it is teaching you where to learn and where to look so that you can stay current after you've left the class. But it's a lot of fun. I am looking forward to spending time with you. I'm going to be walking back into the classroom for the first time in 18 months. So I have not been face-to-face with students. So you are going to be some of the first students that I've actually been in a room with in a very long time. And I'm looking forward to that. And so let's make the best of this. Get started on looking for your partner organization. And I will talk to you later.